I'm going to tell you how I went from having short, burnt, frizzy hair to having waist-length, healthy, and full hair. This video is going to be on my natural hair growth journey. My name's Justice and I'm 20 years old if you've never seen me before. I've been making natural hair videos on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram for the past 4 years, and I've been natural for 7 years now. So I'll start from the very beginning of my hair journey. When I was a baby, I've always had trials and tribulations regarding my hair ever since I can remember. I got my first relaxer when I was around 5 years old, around 2007. If you don't know what a relaxer is, it's a chemical that breaks down the bonds in coily and curly hair and makes hair permanently looser or straighter, depending on the strength of the relaxer. But essentially, my mom was just sick of trying to comb through my seemingly extremely thick hair, and she wanted it to be a bit easier to manage for her. I know there's mixed, mainly negative thoughts towards relaxers, but I don't blame my mom for going for the relaxer at that time. That's all she knew, as she had relaxers at least every 1 to 2 years since she was young. But either way, my hair was relaxed, and that made her job of styling my hair once a week a lot easier. From 5 years old to about 13 years old, I always wore braids, whether it be 2 to 3, 4, 5, or 6 braids in my head. My hair was done once a week every week for years straight. You would think that because my hair is always up and tucked away, and the fact that I never got a haircut, that I would have extremely long and luscious hair. But that wasn't the case. Because of the relaxers and a lack of knowledge on my hair type, my hair was extremely split, frizzy, and would break off every single time it was combed. I managed to consistently retain about an average of 10 inches throughout my younger years until I hit around middle school. Around 2013, 2014, a lot changed for me. I was starting to become more aware of my appearance and how my hair looked in comparison to my upperclassmen and the people in my class, especially considering I was about 12 to 13 years old. It didn't help that I was getting a lot of confirmation that my go-to hairstyle at the time was considered too childish for middle school, mainly just from the girls a year ahead of me. They would make fun of me and my twin sister for wearing braids and cornrows in 7th grade, which looking back on it was a little bit ridiculous considering we were only 12. But eventually me and my twin were made to be embarrassed about it enough to try to convince our mom in 2015, when we had reached about the middle of 8th grade, to let us relax our hair for the first time in about 4 years at that point. We really didn't know the consequences of having a relaxer. All we knew is that we wanted to have straight hair like everybody else in our school, and we just wanted to stop being picked on. She initially said no, but we broke her down enough for her to reluctantly agree. She relaxed our hair and straightened it in the same day, and if you don't know how relaxers work, you're not supposed to do that at all. And to make it worse, we asked her to straighten our hair once a week instead of the braids once a week like we always got. So basically, we absolutely obliterated our hair in the span of 4 weeks. Our hair was 12 inches at the time, and we burnt it off to a good 6 to 7 inches in 28 days. Me, my sister, and my mom had no clue what we were doing. Once our mom had noticed how badly our hair had broken off in such a short time span, she basically forbade us from straightening our hair, and we went right back to the braids and cornrows that we had. Imagine how devastated we were when the bullying finally stopped and we stopped getting made fun of, but we burnt our hair off so bad that we were forced to go back to the very thing that everyone made fun of us for. When we came back to school that week, we had to get braids again. We got nonstop questions on why we stopped wearing our hair straight and how much better it looked when it was fried. So in short, the bullying basically resumed. For me, this was the start of a new era. I was confused why everyone else in my class could straighten their hair every single day and their hair still be thick and long, but when I did it once a week, it caused such bad damage. I did the only thing I could do, and I went to the internet. Since no one around me knew how my type of hair worked, even I didn't know how my type of hair worked. So I came across the small corner of the internet at the time called Natural Hair YouTube. I eventually fell into a rabbit hole of wash and goes, perm rot sets, twist out tutorials, curly hair routines, product hauls, and big chops. I spent my whole summer of 2015 just watching natural hair tutorials and natural hair journeys, trying to figure out where I had went wrong and how I could fix it. Obviously, my main concern at the time was only my length. I basically didn't care for anything else. I tried to find any type of secret hair growth recipes and tricks to try to get my hair back to where it was. I tried everything from mayo and egg hair mask to every single hair growth recipe there was. But within that search to find the secret hair growth trick, I learned a lot along the way of how hair works and what I need to actually grow my hair. One of the things I learned was that I needed to do a big chop on my relaxed and burnt off hair if I wanted to have a clean slate for long and luscious hair. I didn't hesitate, and in the summer of 2015, I proceeded to cut off about 3 to 4 inches of damaged hair. To some people that might not seem like a lot, but considering I only had about 8 inches of hair at the time, I cut off half of my length. I wasn't even scared of looking ugly with short hair. All I knew was this was a step forward into getting the long and thick hair that I always wanted. I spent my whole summer practicing braid outs, wash and goes, bantu knot outs, and buying literally every curly hair product my allowance could afford, and anything any long-haired YouTuber told me to buy. I forced myself to get used to styling my natural hair in the summertime. I started to wear a bonnet every single night, deep conditioning every single weekend, and doing hot oil treatments 2 times a month. But even while doing all that, high school was like quickly approaching, and I knew I wasn't confident in my natural hairstyling just yet. So right before high school started, I started getting box braids done. A hairstyle mostly every black girl has gotten at least once in their lives. Late 2016, I got my first set installed by my mom's friend in her basement salon. And at the time, I was really happy. I never had hair added to my own hair, and I thought it looked great. But looking back, those braids definitely were not the best. But they were great to me at the time, and that's all that mattered. I wore those for my whole freshman year. My braids redone every 4 to 6 weeks, just waiting for my real hair to have some length to it so I could finally do all the styles I wanted to. No one in my school saw my real hair until I got to about 10th grade or 2017. When I reached 10th grade, my hair had reached to about 8 inches in length. That's 2 or 3 more inches than I had a year ago. So in my head, my hair was huge. I was finally able to put my hair in a puff, and I wore that puff like it was my job for almost every day. I would sometimes get box braids, and sometimes I would just blow out my hair some days for school to show off what I thought was my length. I was a little bit delusional at the time, because looking back at old photos, I don't know why I thought my hair was long, but I was overly confident in my hair at the time, which is better than me being insecure about it, so I guess that's all that matters. But my excitement didn't last very long, because apparently I was overdoing the blowouts, and for all of 2017, my hair didn't budge an inch. I did my yearly length check and was expecting my hair to have grown at least 2 inches, but it seemingly didn't grow at all. It turns out my hair was breaking off as fast as it was growing. I figured out it was because of all the blowouts I was doing, and by 2018 summer, I'd sworn off blowouts for my entire junior year. This is when I started to get the hang of twist outs and braid outs, and I finally found the perfect hair products that actually worked for my hair. So junior year, my hair was absolutely flourishing, and I was getting a lot of compliments on my hair by my classmates, and sometimes just random people. They were mainly giving me compliments on the length of my hair at the time. People in school would know me as the girl that always wore her hair out and big, and I'm not gonna lie, I was really proud of that title. To go from being bullied for my hair to being known for it almost healed a part of me I didn't know was damaged. But anyways, fast forward to January 2019, I'd done my yearly length check and my hair went from a steady 8 inches to about 10 inches. It's definitely not as much as it should have been, but it was better than the last year. I was wearing my hair out too often and I didn't put in protective styles enough. When wash day came around, my hair had some breakage due to my hair not being properly protected. My hair should have grown at least 4 to 6 inches that year if I had played my cards right, but not doing blowouts for the year definitely had paid off. So 2019 summer was happening and I had started posting natural hair videos on TikTok. I gained a little bit of a following, around 30,000 followers on the app within 6 months of posting for the first time in June. I was posting videos of me taking out my box braids, doing braid outs and whatnot. I continued to create and post content throughout my entire senior year. But then 2020 happened and obviously I couldn't leave the house for anything. So to cure my boredom, I began to take content creation a lot more seriously. My hair had also grown a decent amount since the year before, going from about 10 inches to 12 inches. My hair was still not being protected properly, so it wasn't as much length as it should have been, but I was content with it. In April of 2020, I decided I wanted to switch things up. I wanted to dye my hair ginger. I looked up a lot of tutorials on how to do it safely from home since I don't trust salons, and I finally felt confident enough to buy all the supplies for it. So I dyed it and it came out okay. It could have came out more even and more bright, but I was content with what I had at the time. I kept the ginger color until early 2021 where I finally got bored and decided to temporarily dye it back to black. And then I got bored of that really quickly and I decided I wanted to try to go blonde for the summer. So I got all the supplies for that, looked up an insane amount of tutorials, and then I finally bit the bullet and stripped the temporary black color, and then I bleached it. It came out a lot better than I expected. I loved the blonde for months, but by the time fall rolled around, I realized the blonde color kind of washed me out, and it made my hair look really thin. I hated the look of it when my curls weren't defined, and I got fed up with it enough that I decided to permanently dye it back to black. And ever since late 2021, I've just been dyeing my hair jet black twice a year. It looks a lot fuller and a lot healthier when it's black in my opinion, and it fits my complexion a little bit more. Throughout all those different decisions and whatnot, I was still creating content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. My hair growth wasn't a priority to me anymore, and I kind of just let it do its thing for the past 2 years. Hair started growing really rapidly when I stopped paying such close attention to it, and to like the hair growth rate and whatnot. I stayed consistent with oiling my scalp, doing deep treatments every week, and wearing a bonnet every night. There's a lot of other things I incorporated into my weekly and daily routine for my hair that I'm just skipping over, simply to keep this video not so long. But if you guys are interested in knowing the ins and outs of my hair growth and hair care routine, just leave a comment down below, and also leave a like on this video to let me know what you want from me. But now my hair's as long as it's ever been. It's waist length and about 15 inches in length. It's finally healthy and thick throughout all of my head, and I'm finally content with my hair 100%. I would prefer it to be a little bit longer, but that's just me being greedy. But yeah, that's my natural hair journey so far and everything that I've done to it. I hope to grow my hair past my hips in the next year or two. So I'm trying actively to make sure my hair is protected properly, and I'm doing everything I can to do that. But I hope this video helped you guys that are looking for inspiration and whoever just wanted to know my story with my hair. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me at BigHeadJustice on all platforms and on all social medias. I'll be trying to post a new video every Sunday, hopefully, so you can watch out for that.